Human activity has changed Earth's climate for the worse. It can be fixed, but to do so, a lot of people must choose the right battles to fight. The next 7 minutes will explain the choice we made 40 years ago and where you can go to learn what we have learned about green living. The logic of green is that growing green plants is the only thing that makes the air we breathe better. Use them and grow more. This is where the Wolf River flows into the Menominee Forest.
It's one of our favorite places to go and renew our spirits.
On warm weekends, the river embraces recreational rafters and picnickers, anxious to breathe the sweetness of the wind.
The reason for the beauty and purity is that the forest and the river are being cared for. Use it or lose it, so they say.
The forest is managed by the Menominee Nation, as it has been since before the white men arrived. My grandfather bought lumber from the Menominee about 100 years ago.
The best wood is used to make wonderful things, and the leftovers make fuel.
We are tree huggers.
It may seem unusual to hear us say that the way to keep nature is to use it.
But keep reading and listening, and you will come to understand why
We
we
need
need
more places like this.
cherish the earth. And she will cherish you. Learn why and how next. To protect and cleanse the water, earth, and air, the use of natural fuel is critical. Who could you trust on this more than a couple of flower children gone to seed? We live, we learn, we teach. How we live is a learned behavior determined by the age and culture in which we grew up. We grew up in the oil age and have been taught that petroleum fuel and its toxic fumes and byproducts are all part of modern life. The Stone Age did not end because of a shortage of stones. The oil age will not end until people know that a better way exists. The information we present in this series of classes is what we have learned that works for us. Listen carefully to this. Using natural organic fuels, also known as biofuels instead of fossil fuels, makes the air and water and earth cleaner. I'll say that again and then explain how. The growing of biofuels takes more greenhouse gases out of the air than is released when those fuels are used, and if grown and harvested properly, improve water, earth, and air too. Anyone who has spent any time in the forest knows the air is better there than in the city or the suburbs. More oxygen. New means recent or fresh. Renewable is something that can be made new again. Fossil is defined as something dug out of the earth from a previous geological age. Beyond dead and disgusting, something that the powers that be buried deep in the earth as if intended not to be part of today's natural carbon cycle. First, above everything, all renewable energy comes from the sun. Even wind and hydropower result from the fact that the sun delivers more heat to the Earth's equator than the poles. The first law of thermodynamics turns this imbalance into a heat engine, with the air and moisture convecting heat from tropics to poles, and gravity bringing cold back in an endless cycle. We can catch some of this energy from the flow as it goes past. Storage of this energy can be a challenge. Green plants have been collecting and storing solar energy for millions of years, and humans learned to use this stored energy to their advantage as food, fuel, and four walls. But let's take a good look at what biofuels are. Bio means life. Biofuels are those made by living things. They're being made right now. Plants make sugar that they can use immediately. They make starch that can be stored for longer periods of time and that they can convert back into sugar when needed. They also make cellulose, which they use for structure and support, and for reasons of their own, they make oils. All of these can be utilized for energy. Firewood is a good example. In a sustainably managed hybrid poplar woodlot, 1 acre of trees could provide all non-transportation energy needs of a typical American home. Yep, same acre every year, all the needs. If this fuel created by plants is not used and decays naturally in field or forest, natural oxidation puts just the same amount of greenhouse gases into the air as happens when it is used by humans for fuel. So unlike fossil fuels, which put stuff into the air that would otherwise never get there, biofuel use does not put anything into the air that wouldn't naturally get there. But that's not the best part. Growing new plants to replace those that were used takes more greenhouse gases out of the air than are released when used for fuel. The increasing number and severity of forest fires is an example of the need for better management of our forests. So what about transportation fuels, you may ask? There are a number of viable alternatives that aren't battery operated and can be made at home. 3 that come to mind are alcohol, biodiesel, and biomethane. More about those at our website. Henry Ford built cars that ran on alcohol until Prohibition made alcohol illegal and hard to find. Jimmy Carter's administration made alcohol fuel legal once again. A free permit allows manufacture of 5,200 gallons of 190 proof fuel a year. We teach how to do this and how to adjust engines to use it. Some gas stations have E85, which is 85% alcohol and 15% gasoline, and can run any engine that is fueled by gasoline. Use of alcohol fuel in small engines can cut carbon monoxide emissions by almost 90%. We started running our cars and lawnmowers and chainsaw and generator on mostly alcohol fuel in 2009, and have not had any of the problems people assured us that we would. It's not hard to switch, and we can switch back if we choose. If you choose to learn how to be part of the solution instead of part of the problem, come to our website, academyofsustainablefuels.com. We have a lot of free information and some reasonably priced online classes as well. We offer hands-on instruction for those of you who can come to our central Wisconsin farmstead. If we don't have what you need, we can probably help you find it.
We hope you'll join our cause and you'll visit us soon. We all need each other.